For this presentation, I'm going to be showing you how you can teach close reading in your classroom, and I'm going to show you how you can differentiate it to accommodate lower grades and upper grades. So what you're going to be needing for this strategy is you need a text. It can be a paper text or a packet that you're using. You're going to need a black pen, a red pen, a highlighter, and some sticky notes. And you can either use the large sticky notes or the small sticky notes. There's a couple of different ways that you can do this. So I'm going to show you how I use it in the third grade classroom and then how you can use it for the upper grades. So what I've done is with these highlighters, I've labeled them with different things so that the child knows what the purpose of each highlighter is. So the blue one's going to be, they're going to highlight questions that they have. The yellow one's going to be connections that they make. That can be a text-to-self connection, a text-to-text connection. The green one is important information, so that's really where you're going to be highlighting your main ideas. The pink one is proof or evidence. So these two will really work together for main idea and the supporting details that support the main idea, and then vocabulary words. So when I'm using this in a third grade classroom, I don't give them usually this many highlighters because it can kind of overwhelm them. So what I'll usually do is I will use the black pen, the red pen, and I'll just use one highlighter unless I'm teaching a specific skill like main idea and detail. So what I'll start off by doing is, of course, setting the purpose for the lesson. So I'll tell them, if this is like a beginning of a unit, we're going to be talking about ants today. This text is a nonfiction text, so there's going to be some vocabulary words in here that you don't know. And then I'll probably start off doing by like a KWL chart where I start with what things that they know, and usually I'll have them write something down on a sticky note, and then they're going to tell me some things that they want to know. So, of course, I'll tell them the purpose of each one of the tools that they're going to be using, and I tell them that when we're close reading, it's like we're using a magnifying glass to go through the text and really look at what's important in here. Because, of course, in the lower grades, kindergarten, first, and second, they're really learning to read. But from third grade and on, they're reading to learn. So they really need to be able to engage in a text. And that's what close reading is. The child engages in the text. It's a shared reading, so they have a copy and you have a copy. And it also holds them accountable for their learning, because at the end, you can use this as an assessment tool to know what they learned and what other information that you need to support them. So what I'll start off by telling them to do is number the paragraphs using their black pen, and of course you'll want to remind them about what a paragraph is, and that'll be really helpful whenever it comes time to answer comprehension questions, or you tell them, let's look back at paragraph 4 and talk about the word nutrients. And that'll be a quick check for them, so they don't have to go back through the whole text. When you get into the upper grades, you might not have to do that as much, but the lower grades need that support a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read through paragraph 1 as if I were actually doing this in my classroom. And this text is from readworks.org. This site provides the teacher with a lot of support because you can divide it by their Lexile levels. You can search specifically for certain keywords, whether you want specific strategies or skills, and whether you want fiction or nonfiction text. So I'm just going to read through paragraph 1. I'm going to show you how I would use it in a third grade classroom, and then I'm going to briefly just tell you how you can differentiate it through other grade levels. Okay.